Greetings and welcome, colonists, to another episode of Let's Do a Level of Outpost 2, Divided Destiny. Right, next level in the story, Chapter 5, Repercussions. Axon crouched down behind the control console and snapped an access panel back in place. He still made sure his duties brought him to the command center frequently, even though Kraft was now attached to the RCC. It was a good place to eavesdrop and observe, but an occasional nugget of information could still be found. Moreover, his political stock seemed to be on the rise, the council less interested in his movements, less concerned about his resources. More likely, however, they were just distracted, or simply too busy to bother with him. Axon was distracted too. New Terra was doomed, so the scientists believed. They hadn't told him this, of course. They had thanked him for his help, smiled their false smiles, covered everything up, and even Jensen. Especially Jensen. But Kraft knew everything they knew, and more. Being separated from Axon seemed to have only made the amazing computer more resourceful, and its time in the CC had given it unprecedented access to information. His position in the RCC had allowed Kraft to front a row seat for the old Eden expedition. Now everything Kraft knew, Axon knew as well. The blight was spreading too rapidly through the planet's crust, taking water out of the rocks, lubricating long, locked faults, creating geological instability, surging forward on the wave of hot groundwater that it had created, repeating the cycle. Nothing short of nuking the entire planet down to the molten mantle would kill it all, and nothing less than killing it all would be effective. There was still token research being done towards creating a self-replicating counteragent, but nobody gave it any serious chance of success. The only hope now was to stay one step ahead of the Blight, gathering resources as they went to re-establish orbital capabilities, to build another starship, and to find another planet to settle. He slumped back against the console and shook his head sadly. We have come full circle. Who knew it would lead to this? Certainly not he. Certainly not his fellow elders when they decided the colony's best chance for survival was to split in two. Now instead of splitting things apart, all he wanted was to hold things together. To put back together what they had broken asunder. But things only showed more signs of flying apart. He'd seen more graffiti this morning. He saw it almost every day. And he'd heard a name whispered. Masters. What did it mean? Then there was Panati. The young man was cold and distant, and Axon couldn't figure out why. He avoided Axon, seemed careful never to be alone with him. Panati was still responsive when Axon asked for access to a vehicle so he could communicate with Kraft, but Axon didn't know how much he could depend on, or trust it. As for why this sudden change in behavior, Axon couldn't understand it. There was another woman, of course, a doctor from the nursery, but that didn't explain anything. He heard voices, and the sound of men grunting under heavy weight. He peered over the top of the console and was surprised to see Panati across the room. He and a pair of workmen were moving a cumbersome and heavy metal cylinder from which wisps of frosty gas emerged. Axon recognized it as one of the gene banks, the frozen repositories of Earth's genetic heritage. Among the workmen, a man and a woman carrying sidearms and wearing the navy blue armband of the volunteer guard watched over the transfer. Axon wondered if this had something to do with the doctor from the nursery. If so, it seemed a curious kind of favor to be granting. Where were they going with the gene bank? Axon thought about simply asking, but he didn't think he had been seen, and some instinct told him to duck back down and keep out of sight. Whatever Panati was doing, he was doing it in plain sight of everyone in the CC, so he obviously had authorization. Still, it didn't smell legit, right? Their efforts to recover the digital backups of the gene banks from the original Eden had come, as Axon predicted, to nothing. 2 of the big quantum crystal memories had been located, but it couldn't be brought out without contamination. And the information stored within was too vast to transmit from the contaminated area. Axon couldn't imagine why anyone would mean the gene bank's harm. They were irreplaceable. He had considered just staying put and minding his own business. But it wasn't his nature, and despite himself, he was concerned about Panati. Frag him! What's gotten into the boy? He couldn't hear the workers anymore, but just in case, he stayed put for a while before emerging from his hiding place. He glanced at the door. Panatti and the gene bank were long gone, but still might be able to catch up with him, and perhaps learn what Panatti was up to. A pale-skinned technician looked up from her work and glanced at Axon curiously for a moment. Was that the gene bank I saw them moving? She shrugged. Looked like it. Not my department. You know where they were moving it? Not my department. Axon grunted and walked out the door. It wasn't that he thought Panatti was up to anything, it was just that the graffiti he kept spotted had raised his paranoia level. The last time he'd seen anything like it was during the political schism that had created Plymouth, and during that revolution it had been he and his fellow elders that doing the painting. He made his way out of the CC and picked up a scooter at the train station. Doubtless, they were moving the gene bank in the cargo cart and should be able to catch up with him, if he was correct in assuming they were headed for the nursery. He gunned the scooter, making the wheels squeal in the deck metal, and roared off after them. They had a strong head start, but the tunnel traffic was light this late in the evening, and he made good time. He arrived at the nursery only to find it locked up for the night. Could he have been wrong about their destination? He didn't think so. He'd followed Panatti's normal route from the CC to the nursery, but a new area of construction had created a possible shortcut, one that Panatti would be very familiar with given his work. He spun the scooter around in a tight circle and backtracked. It was immediately apparent where he had entered the new tunnels. Traffic was non-existent. A thin layer of vanished powder dusted the walls and other exposed surfaces with traffic, and not brushed aside. There was also the characteristic chemical new building smell. It wasn't unpleasant, but it was a minor health hazard. Years of research had failed to eliminate the outgassing from new synthetic materials. He rounded the corner and almost ran head-on into the cart. He spun the scooter and laid it down on his side, sliding to a stop just short of the rack. The cart was sitting on an angle, its nose crunched against the tunnel support rib. The driver, one of the workmen, was slumped over the controls. Panatti was face down on the deck near the empty passenger seat, from which he had probably fallen. The others were sprawled around the vehicle, motionless. Axon's hip twinged as he stood, but he ignored the pain and made his way to the male guard, the nearest to 5. He knelt next to the man and touched his neck. There was a pulse, and the man was breathing. While the others didn't appear to be injured, the guard was face down in a small puddle of blood. Axon rolled him over and saw the sidearm still clutched in his hand. Axon took the gun and pulled back the collar of his shirt and examined the wound. A soft slug had pierced the right shoulder, doing considerable damage, but it didn't seem immediately life-threatening. Then he spotted a small fire extinguisher near one tunnel wall, and noticed for the first time that there had been something odd in the air beyond the new building smell. A pungent and sickeningly sweet odor. He looked again at the extinguisher's tank. They'd been gassed. He could reconstruct the scene in his mind. Someone, possibly in a pressure suit or breathing mask, had hidden along the tunnel in wait. As the cart approached, they flooded the tunnel with gas. The driver had been affected first, and the cart had crashed. But one of the guards had fought off the gas long enough to stagger out of the cart and pull his weapon. The guard had been shot for his trouble. Axon noted that the gun in the man's hand hadn't even been fired. He looked at the cart again. The cargo bed was empty. They'd stolen the gene bank. Now he knew he was outnumbered. He would have taken at least 2 people to lug the gene bank out of the truck, and it would be logical for at least one more as a lookout. He lifted the scooter, fired it up, and made his best guesses at the direction they might have headed. His guess was deeper into the new construction zone. There would be few people to be seen in, and assuming they were wearing pressure suits, there were dozens of emergency and service airlocks through which they could have reached the surface. For that matter, every incomplete building was also offered easy access to the outside. He paused long enough to activate the nearest disaster alarm box and rushed headlong into the dusty tunnels. He didn't expect to find the hijackers given their head start. His only hope was that the cumbersome gene bank would slow them down. As he approached the tunnel junction, he spotted a silvery object lying on the deck. He stopped. The scooter soared off the junction and leaned against the wall. He cautiously walked over and picked up the object, retreating quickly into the crossed tunnel as to not be spotted. He rolled the brushed aluminium cylinder over in his fingers. Paint pen. Red. The tunnel to his right ended a few hundred yards on, and the normal overhead lights hadn't been installed yet. Only a few scattered work lights set up amidst the scaffolding pierced the gloom. He pulled the gun out of his pocket and, keeping his back close to the wall, inched forward. He heard voices and an intermittent hissing of sound. A paint pen. He spotted a pressure-suited figure at the end of the corridor, hanging off a scaffold, putting the finishing touches to an enormous version of the divided circle he had seen before. The circle covered most of a large set of pressure doors leading into the incomplete factory module. He crept closer. The suit's visor was closed now, but he heard voices, so there were others around, possibly carrying the gene bank. Could they already be on the other side of those doors? Were they simply invisible in the shadows? He stepped out of the shadows and pointed his gun at the suited figure. "Don't move! I've got a gun!" The figure let go of the scaffolding and dropped into the shadows. Axon let off a wild shot, but he knew he hadn't hit anything. He hadn't used a gun in years, and he'd have to be much closer to have a prayer of hitting anyone. Unfortunately, he couldn't count on his adversaries being as unskilled. Ducking low, he moved closer, using scaffolding and piles of construction material as cover. He popped his head up, and someone took a shot at him, but he had time to make an important discovery. The gene bank was sitting on the deck, right in front of the spray-painted symbol. That was good news and bad. It meant he might yet have a chance to recover it, but it also meant that whoever had been carrying it was no longer so encumbered. He moved closer still and popped up long enough to let off another round, just to keep their heads down. He was back on the cover by the time they responded with return fire. He popped again and spotted a pressure suit helmet only 4 or 5 meters away. He squeezed off a shot, and a soft slug pancaked against the plating with a metallic splat just to the right of the figure. 3 more shots in his direction, all wild. I might have a chance, he thought. Then he heard a clack and the sound of heavy machinery. A sound like a tornado nearly deafened him, and the blast of wind pinned him in his hiding place and blinded him with clouds of dust. "They've opened the pressure doors!" He clenched his eyes shut and tried to recall the appearance of the doors, where the control panel would be located. He'd only have one chance at this. He pulled himself around his barricade and let the wind carry him towards the door, trying to veer himself enough to the side to hit the controls. A slab of insulation smacked him painfully behind his right ear, and he felt hot blood running across his neck. He slammed against the right door, and the control panel just out of reach. Through the open doorway, he had seen a flash of a building's dark skeleton silhouetted against the starlit sky. He felt the wind tearing at him and clawed his way towards the panel. Hot needles stabbed in his ears as the pressure dropped, pushed himself towards the last inch, and slapped the emergency close icon. He didn't hear the doors closing, was only aware when the roar of wind stopped. He slumped to the deck and tried, with limited success, to catch his breath. He looked around. They were gone. Out through the doors while he'd been struggling to survive. Then he spotted the gene bank. It sat on its side near the door, half covered with a sheet of light paneling. He pulled himself to his feet and managed to tug the panel clear. What he saw crushed him. He fell to his knees in front of the gene bank, which appeared to have been shot repeatedly at close range. Close enough that even the soft slugs had ripped through its aluminium jacket. The last of its liquid helium coolant boiled away from a puddle on the deck as thousands of tiny glass vials spilled out through the holes and onto the floor, where they lay shattered and broken. He looked up at the symbol painted on the doors and screamed in rage. Not good. Right. Commander. Data recovered from the expedition shows the terrifying microbe breaks down organic compounds into their base elements. Scientists don't know how to stop it yet, and its growth rate is increasing. Unless a breakthrough is made, the blight will consume the entire planet. We must start constructing another starship as a contingency. The first step of this project will be developing our rocket boosters and launching a satellite into orbit. Computer models show that New Terra has natural resources barely sufficient to support the construction of a starship. As the blight spreads, we must continue to move ahead of the blight and exploit as many of these resources as we can. Projections also show that we are missing valuable data about the starship construction. The scientists have identified a crash site of the starship Conestoga, which had brought us to this planet many years ago, but crashed when its orbit decayed. To gather more data, we must prepare a convoy of scouts, cargo trucks and armed escorts to explore the site and recover parts of the wreckage. This will allow our scientists to reverse engineer the parts and expedite our new starship construction. We do not know what threats we will encounter and must be ready. The standard lab will no longer be served for some of the more complex research tasks. An advanced lab will be built so new research topics may be pursued. These research topics may be volatile and prone to accidents. Be careful when you construct the advanced lab. The tokamaks have shown that they degrade over time and require frequent repair. Pay attention to them or they may become unstable and explode. As our colony expands, we need better power producing alternatives. Our remote operations of vehicles is limited as well. A robot command center with a dedicated savant computers will allow more control of our vehicles. The vehicles will also be able to use more complicated smart routing algorithms to improve their transit times. The robodozer has proven to be useful in decreasing building times for structures when placed on a pre-bulldozed area. Structures are completed in substantially less time. Bulldozed roads will allow vehicles to travel over rough terrain much more rapidly as well. Medical centers will reduce the mortality rates of our workers and scientists. The area we have moved into has rich deposits of needed ores and some unusual kinds of ores as well. However, this new area holds a new threat as well. Potential volcanic activity, which may be a side effect of the blight. Alright, let's just see the objectives. There's a lot of them. Let's start. Alright. All my convects are empty. Let's see what I have. And you can start digging that out.
Food production in surplus.
Right, so I need to get things underway. Let's see, where are my labs? What would be the most use? Let's get Hypnopedia. So I can train scientists faster. And I can just only get independent turret power systems. Alright. Let's load up the command center.
New worker ready.
And let's get these trucks out of the way so I can hook up this turret to the network. Now,
morale is fair.
I'm gonna put the command center over here.
Research completed.
For a very specific reason. Alright, let's see.
Mining location surveyed.
Let's increase the yield of our ores. Alright, that's a good mine. Let's exploit it. For as long as we can.
New worker ready.
And I really should build some more vehicles. Let's get another robo-miner at the very least.
Tube completed.
Right, we definitely need more stuff. Let's see. Let's get a residence built. And that is still on the way. Now, the volcano they were talking about is up here. It will push lava down this path, which I don't think is
New worker ready.
Well, it's the dark bits that will be filled in. The lava will then spread across here and into here.
Food production in surplus. Research completed. Power levels optimal.
Alright, let's get rare ore processing.
Morale is poor.
And let's keep our morale up, because I kind of want to have enough people going.
Structure disabled.
That is not great. Right now I just want to keep everybody happy. And you lots can be assigned to here, here, and here.
Morale is fair.
Alright, that starts getting some people going. I don't only need a couple of trucks over there.
Structure completed.
Alright.
Structure completed.
That's alright for now. Right, what's the food production? It's not that great. Let's increase that for a bit. And
New worker ready.
let's get that going over there. Actually, stop. I don't have the minerals just yet. Let's get another robo-dozer. Because even though my RCC makes my trucks a little bit more efficient in how they move, they're not quite as efficient as they could be just yet.
Vehicle ready.
You two also just join this conga line. Right, let's set up the agrodome.
New worker ready.
Now there is also a mine up here, down here, but I don't think it's really worth it to go down there just yet,
Power level
if at all.
Food production in surplus.
All right, let's start digging out a road over
Structure
there.
completed. Structures disabled.
All right, this is finished. That's fine.
Morale is poor.
Yeah.
Research completed.
All right, let's get the.
New worker ready.
Yeah, let's get an
Morale
independent
is
to the
fair.
power system. I mean, we need a load of stuff, so
Structure completed.
whatever we can build right now is absolutely great. Right, let's also get, let's see, advanced vehicle power plant to make all my stuff go faster. And
Alert.
let's start
Seismic
building some
event
defenses. Right, that's fine. Right. Ooh, I almost had it immediately completely right.
Mining location surveyed.
And I should now be able to build a rare ore smelter.
Warning. Seismic event detected. Vehicle ready. New worker ready. Morale
Alright.
is good. Morale is fair. Rare metal storage needed.
Alright. I don't currently have any trainable workers. Pity, but that's alright.
Structure disabled. Vehicle ready.
Might as well put my earthworker to use to build some walls. And you can come back down, because I really don't really need you up there.
New worker ready.
So 4 links should probably
Power
be
levels
enough for
optimal.
now. I mean, I need at least 4.
Food production in surplus.
That's fine.
Structure completed. Vehicle ready.
Alright.
Structure kit manufactured.
Let's
Wall
get a
completed.
medical center. Right. Let's build a wall. Make Plymouth pay for it.
New worker ready.
And let's set this up.
Structure kit manufactured. Research completed. Wall completed.
Alright, let's get the space program going. Or start at the very least. Alright, another Lynx laser. Alright, wall over there. Now, it's not my intent to wall off the entire colony, because that's impossible for the most part. The Plymouth's units will be smart enough to just simply blow a hole somewhere where I can't defend it. I'm just merely
Wall
trying to
completed.
funnel the enemy into a location where I can easily defend.
Rare metal storage needed. Morale is fair. Vehicle ready.
Alright. Medical center is done. Let's get a Gorf. The Gorf is mostly useful in that it will give me some bonuses to morale.
Completed. Power levels optimal.
Right. And you will need to trade some piping.
Food production in surplus. Structure kit manufactured.
And I don't really need anything else just yet. Let's get a couple of laser posts.
Tube completed. Structure completed. Structure disabled. Structure kit manufactured. Bulldozing completed.
Oh, it's not connected. Wait.
New worker ready. Tube completed. Bulldozing completed. Structure disabled. Morale
Let's keep on bulldozing. Alright, that should keep me going for a little while longer. Alright.
Rare metal storage needed. New worker ready. Morale is fair. Alert. Seismic event imminent. Structure kit manufactured.
Right.
Vehicle ready. Warning. Seismic event detected. Vehicle destroyed.
Well, crap.
Power levels optimal. Common metal storage needed. Structure completed.
Alright, nobody else was significantly damaged, but
Food production in
that was
surplus.
annoying.
Structure disabled.
Alright, let's get the
Structure
minerals
repaired.
going.
Structure completed. Structure completed. Structures disabled. Morale is poor.
Alright, I just really need people to start reproducing. Let's call it that.
New worker ready. Morale is fair. Research completed.
Alright. Let's get the geothermal power going. Because these tokamaks will start breaking down and that's not something we want. Alright, I also need to have some railgun panthers and some empty cargo trucks. I also need to have more convex, so I
Seismic event imminent.
should just keep building.
Vehicle ready.
Oh, for crying out loud. You know what, just... You all move up there.
New worker ready. Morale is good. Warning. Seismic event detected. Vehicle ready. Power levels optimal.
Right, can I build the spaceport? Yes, I can. Alright, that should keep
Alert.
things moving along.
Seismic event imminent. Food production in surplus.
Alright, this is
New worker ready.
a little bit nuts.
Warning. Seismic event detected. Vehicle ready. Our colony is under attack.
Oh, well, there's the attack we were expecting.
Vehicle destroyed. We are under attack.
I mean, it's just microwave lynxes, but that's fine. Alright, let's get that dozer back. And
new worker ready.
Set up some more laser.
Morale is fair. Vehicle ready.
Now the laser, of course, is a line of sight weapon, so it can't shoot over a wall, but just in case they get past, I will have another laser ready to attack. Now, I just really want this to be effective. And we should have more than enough effective stuff.
Structure kit manufactured. Research completed.
Alright.
New worker ready.
Let's get the
Structure completed.
the medical base a little bit more upgraded.
Vehicle ready.
But I don't need quite as many.
Completed. Power levels optimal.
Alright. Let's keep bulldozing. Might as well. Let's build the spaceport. Right. Advanced combat chassis. Let's get it started.
Food production
May as well.
surplus. Alert. Seismic event imminent.
Alright, let's get you all
New
back
worker
on the
ready.
road. And you as well. And I think we're quite done with that.
Seismic event detected.
Right, I need robot assist mechanic done. And I need to launch a satellite. The rest
Alert. Seismic event imminent.
is not immediately crucial. Let's get a command center built. Because we will run out of time more quickly in this mission than on any other, most likely.
New worker ready. Warning. Seismic event detected. Research completed.
Alright. Robot assist mechanic. Let's get that out of the way.
Morale is good. New worker ready. Repair stopped.
Alright.
Power levels optimal. Structure repaired.
I did get geothermal power, so let's build
Structure
geocom.
repaired. Structure completed.
Alright.
Structures disabled.
Now we can only build the Edward satellite and an
Power levels
SULV,
marginal.
so...
Structure kit manufactured.
Alright, good.
Research completed.
Good thing
Vehicle
I'm starting
ready.
to build that. Right, so now I can
New
build a
worker
repair
ready.
vehicle.
Food production in surplus.
And let's get this fumarole.
Mission control.
Rocket ready.
Mission control.
Alright, Edward satellite. Now the Edward satellite is basically a geological probe satellite. So after I launch it, I will no longer need...
Vehicle ready. Bulldozing completed.
I will no longer need surveyors to tell me what minerals
New
are
worker
hidden where.
ready. Satellite manufactured.
Right, launch pad, launch this, load the satellite, launch.
Rocket launched. Edward satellite deployed.
And now I can see what this is.
Seismic watch initiated. Structure kit manufactured. Bulldozing completed. Alert. Seismic event imminent. New worker ready.
I think I probably need a few more cargo trucks.
Mission control.
Right.
Warning. Seismic event detected. Rare metal storage needed. Power levels off.
Now, I don't think I need
Structure
the...
completed. Vehicle ready.
not anything else I need, right? So, just get things going.
Mission control.
Let's start training up some more scientists.
Structure kit manufactured.
Right,
New
let's
worker
get
ready.
some 3,000 units of food. I should be able to handle that.
Food production in surplus.
Mission control.
New worker ready. Vehicle ready.
Right.
Bulldozer completed.
Right. Do I need anything
Morale
else?
is fair.
Alright. Structure kit.
New worker ready.
Right, the advanced combat chassis would be nice.
Research completed.
And I need the directional magnetic fields.
Morale is good.
I can build the railgun Panthers. Ooh, I need more AVAC transports. Right, you...
Vehicle ready. Caution. Seismic watch initiated.
That's fine.
New worker ready. Power levels optimal. Rare metal storage needed.
Mission control.
Morale is fair. Alert. Seismic event imminent. Morale is good.
Right, I have enough scientists for now.
Vehicle ready.
Just enough. Let's study volcanology, just to be sure
Warning. Seismic event detected.
that I won't be caught in surprise.
New worker ready.
And... yeah, I have enough.
Food production in surplus. Structure kit manufactured.
Right. Let's build the common smelter.
Alert. Volcanic eruption imminent.
Yeah, that was to be expected.
New worker ready.
I would have expected to see more of Plymouth, but it doesn't appear to be happening.
Warning. Volcanic eruption detected.
Alright, here it comes. Ooh, there it is.
Morale is fair.
I knew something was coming.
Bulldozing completed. Vehicle repaired. New worker ready. Research completed. Morale is good. We are under attack.
Alright, let's just get together, guys.
Structure kit manufactured. Our colony is under attack.
Yeah, go on, attack the dirt. Like I care.
Power levels optimal.
Right, guys, come on. Bit more smart, please.
Our colony is under attack. New worker ready. We are under attack. Damage warning.
Alright, that's all in there, so I can just fully assign everything there.
We are under attack.
Just kill it.
Morale is fair. Caution. Seismic watch initiated.
That's fine. Alright. Let's get some railgun panthers.
Food production in surplus. Alert. Seismic event imminent.
Right.
Warning. Seismic event detected. Vehicle ready. Research completed.
Let's get the reinforced vehicle construction. Actually, no. Robotic image processing. That would be nice. Right. Another railgun panther. Load. The lava will keep on flowing. I mean, the game is at least not being so hard as to demolish my buildings up here.
Mission control.
Vehicle ready.
Right.
Power levels optimal.
I mean, I should have more than enough supplies for now, so... Ooh,
Research complete.
some more incoming Plymouth vehicles. You know, you just stay there.
Structure destroyed. Structure disabled. Morale is fair. They stopped. We are under attack. Damage warning. Our colony is under attack. Vehicle repaired. Food production in surplus. Our colony is under attack. We are under attack. Caution. Seismic watch initiated.
Might as well get this one. Alright. Make sure that all our vehicles stay alive.
Common metal storage needed.
Right.
Alert. Seismic event imminent.
I think we have more than enough common metals.
Vehicle repaired.
So... No, that's not what I want. Yeah, unload.
Seismic event detected.
Just unload.
Structure disabled.
Oh, well
Research
done.
completed. Power levels optimal. New worker ready.
Alright. Let's get consumerism out of the way. Just for what it might lead to.
Morale is fair.
But we are approaching the end of what I can do. So now it just comes down to how many resources can I do finish.
New worker ready. Food production in surplus.
I mean, let's get some more Lynx railguns.
Damage warning. Vehicle ready. New worker ready. Our colony is under attack. We are under attack. The Blight is approaching. Vehicle destroyed.
Well, aren't you just very cheery?
Seismic watch initiated. New worker ready.
Now, you might think I might get a brief respite because of the night passing over. That actually will not happen.
Power levels optimal.
So it's really just, what can I finish?
Seismic event imminent.
Because I don't think anything else is unlocked here.
Morale is good.
I think I can get the dirt procedural review to going.
Warning. Seismic event detected.
Right, let's move all these vehicles out of the way. Nah, it's not gonna work. Load up.
You have done well. Our colony is surviving.
Phew, close enough. Alright, that's it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. See you all next time.